Hey, friends! Barkey Dog here, back with another movie review. And it's time once again to revisit our old friend, the 1980s. Crime, cops, and canon pictures. And you know what that means. An action movie with the good guys versus the bad guys. This time, we're talking about Number One with a Bullet from 1987. Our story goes like this. In the big city, there's a dope ring operating. Our two heroes are unorthodox cops, and they're on the case. Now, one of these cops is Burzak, and he's convinced a local bigwig is behind the dope. But no one believes him, including his partner, Hazeltine. But these two guys are buddies. In spite of Burzak being a cop on the edge and constantly interfering with Hazeltine's game plan for the ladies, Hazeltine is more steady and he'll back up his pal. I wouldn't if he tried that with me. Well, there's big dope deals going down, and our heroes are trying to crack the case. Meanwhile, Burzak keeps trying to get back in the good graces of his ex-wife. She's not having it. But despite that, he seems to worm his way back into her life fairly easily. Yeah. Anyway, as our heroes get close to breaking the case, the big bad guy decides to deal with them, hiring an assassin to take care of a witness under their protection, and then going after our heroes a little more directly, leading to gunplay and mayhem. Will our heroes crack the case? Will Burzak win back his wife? And was anyone smoother than Billy D? Oh, he's smooth. In our cast, we have Billy D. Williams, of course, as Hazeltine. He seemed to be having fun. His pickup lines with the ladies are almost as smooth as the jazz he plays. He's really good here, really likable. Robert Carradine is his partner Burzak, which on the street he's called Berserk. He's a cop on the edge. Well, kinda. He's not as smooth, if I'm honest. His character is fairly unlikable, but he does grow on you, and Carradine's doing his best. The pair have pretty good chemistry as partners working on the case. Valerie Bertinelli appears in her first role since leaving the sitcom One Day at a Time. She's serviceable as the ex-wife who still loves her man. She doesn't really have too much to do, though. Doris Roberts is here as Burzak's mom. She was in tons of stuff, but I remember her best from her turn on Remington Steele. Again, she doesn't have that much to do, but she has one really good scene with Burzak when he comes home for a visit. Bobby Cicco plays a dope dealer. We last saw him in my review of Steven Spielberg's 1941. He's quite good, but this was a step down from his starring turn in that film. We also have Peter Graves as the police captain. As stalwart and believable as always, he lends some gravitas to his role, what there is of it. And we also have the black semi-truck from Knight Rider. Yeah, that's the same truck they used on the show. Director Jack Smight got his start in the early days of television, even directing a few episodes of The Twilight Zone. He later directed The Illustrated Man, The Secret War of Harry Frigg, Midway, Airport 75, and both Damnation Alley and Fast Break, both of which I've reviewed elsewhere on the channel. His work is quite good here, as you'd expect from a veteran director. Now, originally, we would have gotten two different leads. The plan was for Denzel Washington and Jim Belushi to star, which would have been fascinating, but studio heads wanted a bigger name brand than Denzel was at the time, and due to delays in production, Belushi was tied up with other projects and had to bow out. He did work on the screenplay, and he gets a screen credit for that here. Belushi might have been a better choice for Burzak, Carradine not being a perfect fit with the comedic lines meant for Belushi. But Billy D was great. I'm glad he was in this one. Not a surprise, if you haven't caught on already, This is pretty much a watered-down, lightweight, and lower-budgeted version of Lethal Weapon. Berserk has mental health issues, but not to the degree of Mel Gibson's Riggs. Billy D is the steady one, but not quite as world-weary as Detective Murtaugh. You've got the two cops who are loose cannons, blasting through red tape and protocol to make the bust. You've got the boss who chews them out, the dirty cop on the take, the big bad guy who no one believes is really a bad guy, yada yada yada. It's all here. But that doesn't mean it's not entertaining. There's some humor sprinkled throughout, and there are some good shootouts and chases on foot and in vehicles. Even a chopper versus a plane, which is a pairing you never saw too much. And despite the low budget, the one really cheap-looking scene is this, where Berserk is flying a plane, and we can see the sky is obviously a fabric backdrop. It moves and has wrinkles and everything. The movie was all shot on location in and around Los Angeles. Very little use of sound stages from what I could tell, aside from that one shot of the airplane. And that lends a degree of reality to the picture. I won't lie, I never heard of this one until I randomly tripped across it. And no wonder. When it came out, the movie got a pitifully small release on less than 300 screens, and it flopped hard, only taking in $500,000. That's a shame. Despite being derivative and by the numbers, it was a fun watch. The byplay between Billy D and Carradine was good, some of the stunts were good, there's action, and the movie doesn't drag. So, all in all, while it is a lesser, lighter weight and pale imitation of Lethal Weapon, I enjoyed it. A fun 80s buddy cop movie with a cool, jazzy score. Hollywood could do worse than to go back and make these kind of pictures again. So I'm giving number 1 with a bullet. 2.5 paws up. It's well worth checking out if you want some 80s action that might have slipped under the radar back in the day. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.